38 years ago, Debbie and I were married, and about halfway through that time, we had some situations in our marriage that brought us to separation. We were actually leaders in the church back east, and we caught ourselves being in a situation where we weren't looking at spending a lot of time with one another. We were focusing on too many other things. We had 3 sons, and we wound up in a peculiar situation where I got involved with a co-worker, and that brought some division naturally among our marriage. I wound up leaving and was ready to move on.
We were separated for 1.5 years, and so I just stood on the word and believed and continued to pray and seek God and ask Him daily, on a daily basis, what I was supposed to do and how I was supposed to proceed.
And even during this time of separation, I still would find myself in the mornings getting up and praying and journaling, and even though my lifestyle didn't reflect that, I think that through this, my perspective was that I allowed that door to be open enough that God could get in. And I recall one evening after I had gone over to the house and had visited the boys, Debbie was there, and when I was leaving, I had gotten in my car and I was going up the hill in front of our house in the subdivision, and I happened to glance in my rearview mirror, and as I glanced in the mirror, I could see my middle son running up the street, hollering, "Daddy, come back. Daddy, don't leave. Daddy, come back." And still to this day, that image is burnt in my heart, and I can see my son crying for his dad to come back home. But yet, I still continued on.
Every day I had to get up and seek God to move forward in the day. I would take the kids to school. I would pray, I would scream, I would shout on the way to school and back because it was such a long drive. Our kids went to a school that was a long distance away.
Finally, I wound up coming back home. But I think that at the time I came back more because I wanted to do what was right for the boys. But it was amazing, because of my obedience in coming back, God wound up restoring my love for Debbie and her love for me. And it didn't happen overnight. We had to rebuild that relationship that I destroyed. And it took time. But one of the things that we did, and it was very, very helpful, is we made a list of the positive things that we liked about our spouse. And when you do that, then you take away that negative thing, and then you can focus on the things that brought you guys together originally.
And one thing that I did, I journal, and so I'd take out a piece of paper and I would say, "I forgive Jerry Gray for doing da-da-da-da-da," whatever comes to my mind. And then I would tear it up and get rid of it. And by doing that, I was doing something to let it go.
And even when we did get back, it was necessary for us to find something that we had a common interest in. And so when we got back together, we created a hobby. We got into antiques, and we would spend time together, even going to auctions and buying antiques and bringing them home and refinishing them. And some of them we would keep, some of them we would sell, some of them we would take to auctions again and get other new antiques and bring them back and refinish. And that was kind of like our marriage. It was old, it was broken down, but yet God saw something within us, and He took our marriage and refinished it and brought something new out of something that had been rejected. And I would just encourage anyone right now, if you're in a situation in your marriage where you feel that you no longer have a love, or you want out of the marriage, and you know God, listen to God. Spend time just seeking His face. Go back to that first love that you had for your spouse. Remember how it was, how you would spend time with her, how you would do the little extra things for her, and do it again.